My name is Steve Smith. This is TQA Weekly. If ever you have any questions, comments, suggestions, topics, email me at ask@tqaweekly.com. If you're already on YouTube, you know what to do. It's down below. And of course, that's where all the description and information to my shows are always placed, as well as a link to Patreon, the best way to get these episodes 24 to 48 hours in advance and actually make this show better. And you can do so by going to patreon.com/TQAweekly. Link is down in description below. And this week's topic is about the banning of weak passwords. Finished is the era of coding for simplicity, coding for functionality. Now comes the era of coding out of necessity. Millions of accounts have been hijacked and hacked into, and millions of users and passwords have been published all over the internet. This is dangerous in itself, and the worst culprits are the users with weak passwords and weak password management practices. So it's not just the fact of weak passwords, but commonly used weak passwords used repeatedly all over the internet. And you would have thought, even over the longevity of my own show, that people would have started learning, not necessarily as a direct impact from me, but as a direct impact of media and common sense as it is already. If you use the same username, same email, and same password for everything, your entire digital life is at risk. And if you're one of those, you probably don't even know what two-factor authentication is, or you think it's too much trouble. So what this has done, it has created a series of different types of blaming games on the internet without proof, and it's a very simple concept to explain. The service you're using at the time of breach that is responsible for the hack of the other service, because they're probably not hacking the service themselves, but probably just the accounts inside of the service, which is apparently what has been happening to places like TeamViewer, where the credentials have been leaked from the other services and people have recycled the same credentials and continued to use them on their service, leading to plenty of accounts being hijacked, but not necessarily the service overall. But we won't know until they actually confirm anything beyond that. But it is a very plausible and has happened before idea, which has even happened against iCloud, where Apple itself was not hijacked or hacked into. The accounts of the people themselves were hijacked using recycled credentials. So what does this actually lead to? Well, it leads to a few things. So programmers now going to have to start thinking about how they program stuff. I myself have already been programming for months better databases with multiple different ways of encrypting each of the various fields, leading into what would be one of the most complicated endeavors in history to decode. So this means that now companies, let's say like Microsoft, are also starting to ban weak passwords, because securing the databases themselves now doesn't mean that jack diddly shit if you do not protect the user from themselves. Which means from now on, when you use Azure or Microsoft products, or even my products, you will have to use a better password, period. This is how the internet is responding to all of the account hijacking that has been going on for years on the internet, and now is the end of days of blaming other companies for your weak ass passwords. If you are one of those culprits that use weak passwords, or let's say you have a great password, but you use this great password everywhere on the internet with the same username and same email address on top of the password, you're no longer safe. Use different, really great passwords, hopefully really random passwords, all over the internet. Use some sort of password keeper, whether it be a notebook or LastPass or anything like that. And please keep in mind that the more you separate your accounts, the safer you will be. Which means if you use several types of usernames, emails, and random, and non-repetitive passwords, the entirety of your internet identity will not be as easily compromised as it probably is possible now. And I hope this kind of hijacking doesn't happen to you before you fix the problem. Hopefully you don't have to respond to a hijacking before having to learn from it.